Tim Tszyu's next steps after Fundora defeat, health first. When the fight ends, the real battle begins, literally. Tim Tszyu's recent loss to Sebastian Fundora has left boxing fans wondering, what happens next for the Australian star? After a brutal second defeat in the US, Tszyu was rushed to the hospital, leaving his career in a state of uncertainty. https://www.espn.com/boxing/story/_Sebastian-Fundora-beats-super-welterweight rematch. This wasn't just another fight, it was a high-stakes clash between two legends, with Fundora's dominance in the 7th round sending shockwaves through the boxing world. But here's where it gets controversial. Tszyu seemed to be turning the tide in that final round after being knocked down early. Yet, Fundora's relentless uppercuts in the closing seconds shattered any hope of a comeback. The result? A devastating loss that leaves Tszyu's future hanging in the balance. And this is the part most people miss. Tszyu's journey isn't just about the fight, it's about resilience, legacy, and the emotional toll of failure. Tszyu's promoter, George Rose, has been vocal about his belief in the fighter's potential. "Shattered for Tim, first and foremost," Rose said, acknowledging the immense pressure Tszyu faced. "This was a very sad night, but I'm glad he's back on his feet." Rose also praised Fundora's performance, calling it a masterclass in defense of his WBC title. But the bigger question is, can Tszyu rise again? Fundora's physical advantage, standing at 197 centimeters with a massive reach, made the fight almost inevitable. Yet, Rose remains confident in Tszyu's ability to rebound. "He needs to recover, go through the process of facing defeat," Rose emphasized. "It's not about talent alone. It's about choice. If Tim wants to fight again, I'll do everything to help him." The controversy deepens when considering Tszyu's history. After going unbeaten for 24 fights, he's now lost 3 of his last 4. In boxing, a loss isn't just a moment, it's a long-term challenge. It's not a one-week thing like most sports, Rose noted. You have to rebuild, both physically and mentally. So, what does the future hold for Tim Tszyu? Will he take a break, return to the ring, or pursue a different path? The answer lies in his decision. As Rose put it, it's his health first. But what would you do in his shoes? What would you choose, to walk away or to fight again for glory? Boxing drama, Tszyu's hospitalization and Pacquiao's comeback draw. Imagine the raw emotion of boxing's highs and lows. One fighter, Tim Tszyu, is rushed to the hospital after a crushing defeat, while another legend, Manny Pacquiao, steps into the ring at 46 and battles to a draw in his stunning comeback. It's moments like these that show just how unpredictable and heart-wrenching the sport can be, drawing fans in with every punch and decision. As Tszyu was being taken away from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, he missed out on witnessing Pacquiao's fight firsthand. This wasn't just any night for Tszyu, it was his 3rd attempt to claim a world title, a goal that represents the ultimate achievement in boxing. Think of it as winning an Olympic gold or a Super Bowl ring, where you're recognized as one of the best in the world. Unfortunately, this bid ended in disappointment once again, leaving him without the belt and adding to a string of tough losses. Unlike his previous encounter with Sebastian Fundora 16 months earlier, where a severe cut above his eye caused blood to impair his vision and gave him a reason to question the outcome. Sort of like how an injury in soccer might force a player out and affect the game's result, there were no such excuses this time around. The fight took place at the same iconic venue where Tszyu's father, Kostya, delivered a legendary knockout against Zab Judah over 2 decades ago, a moment that cemented his legacy. But for Tim, it was a harsh wake-up call about his place in the sport's hierarchy. Fundora took control right from the start, knocking Tszyu down in the very first round with precise, powerful strikes. Tszyu managed to hang in there until the end of the 7th round, showing incredible toughness, but he didn't answer the bell for the 8th. It was surprising to see him end the fight on his stool, especially since he had landed some of his strongest hits just before the stoppage. But here's where it gets controversial. There's debate over whether Tszyu himself decided to quit or if his team made the call, pointing to exhaustion after enduring a relentless barrage of jabs for over 20 minutes. Jabs, by the way, are quick, straight punches meant to keep distance and wear down an opponent, and in this case, they were Fundora's weapon of choice. Either way, Tszyu was out of gas and couldn't continue. In his own words, he called himself one tough son of a gun, but admitted he gave it his all and came up short. He graciously handed the victory to Fundora, declaring him the top fighter in the 154-pound division right now. Tszyu even downplayed a cut that opened above his eye, saying it didn't play a role, and credited Fundora for being elusive and hard to hit, like trying to catch a shadow in a dimly lit room. "He's incredibly resilient," Tszyu said, "and sometimes it felt like I was fighting thin air." Don't expect a third fight between them, though. In just over a year, Tszyu has gone from undefeated to losing all 3 of his world title bouts, which might signal the end of his run at the top. Before the fight, Tszyu had dismissed Fundora's punches as weak and stringy, but he was proven wrong. Fundora's jab packed a punch, thanks to his towering 6 feet 6 inches height and long reach, which he used to stay out of range and counter effectively. As a southpaw, meaning he fights with his left hand forward, Fundora was able to clip Tszyu whenever he charged in and absorbed hits without flinching, showing off years of training focused on using his natural advantages. Tsyu's team said the hospital visit was just a precaution, but it's unclear if the real harm is physical or mental. This was supposed to be his breakout moment in the US, sharing the card with a boxing icon like Pacquiao, who was making a rare return to the ring. Pacquiao, known as the Pac-Man, ended up with a majority draw against Mario Barrios, meaning Barrios kept his WBC welterweight title since the judges couldn't decide on a clear winner. It's one thing to be on the same bill as legends, but owning the night is a whole different story, and Pacquiao, at his age, nearly pulled it off, proving that experience and heart can still shine through. And this is the part most people miss. The psychological impact of these defeats can linger long after the physical bruises heal, affecting a fighter's confidence and career trajectory. Fundora's dominant performance raises questions about whether height and reach are overrated or if they're the key to unlocking success in the ring. But here's where it gets controversial. Some argue that Tsyu's corner stopped the fight too soon, potentially denying him a comeback, while others see it as a smart move to protect his health. What do you think? Should Tszyu keep chasing that world title, or has he hit his limit? And how about Pacquiao's draw? Is it a testament to his enduring skill, or a sign that Father Time is catching up? I'd love to hear your takes in the comments. Let's spark some lively debate. Sebastian Fundora dominates Tim Tszyu, TKO victory highlights. Have you ever felt the sting of defeat, only to rise again stronger? That's exactly what happened when Sebastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu faced off in a rematch for the junior middleweight title. Fundora emerged victorious in a stunning TKO, but the road to this victory was anything but straightforward. But here's where it gets controversial. Despite Fundora's clear dominance, the match was far from one-sided. In their first encounter, Fundora's victory was marred by an unfortunate elbow that caused a severe cut on Tsyu's face, overshadowing his win. But on this day, there was no fluke cut, just sheer skill and power. Fundora, the reigning WBC junior middleweight champion, began with a thunderous left in the first round that sent Tszyu crashing to the canvas. Tszyu, resilient as ever, managed to get back up, but it was clear he was still recovering when the fight resumed. With a reach that seems almost unfair in the 154-pound division, Fundora peppered Tszyu with jabs and straight lefts that appeared to land with unerring accuracy. However, Tszyu fought back with heavy left hooks and overhand rights, especially in rounds 6 and 7, showcasing his grit and determination. And this is the part most people miss. Even as Tszyu seemed to find his rhythm, he was still absorbing a relentless stream of punches from Fundora. By the end of the 7th round, Tsyu's corner admitted defeat, and he announced his retirement from the fight, acknowledging Fundora's superiority. Fundora's victory was a testament not only to his physical prowess, but also to his tactical maturity. After years of toe-to-toe brawls, he has learned to use his height and reach to devastating effect. Reflecting on his victory, Fundora was humble yet confident. He recognized his physical advantages, stating, "I'm not drinking any more milk," implying he's done growing. He embraced his role as the bully in the ring, a role he's comfortable with. But what do you think? Is Fundora's dominance a sign of his greatness, or does it raise questions about the sport's fairness? Let's discuss in the comments. In the end, Fundora's victory was clear-cut, but the journey to this point was anything but. It's a story of resilience, skill, and the relentless pursuit of greatness.